So Tycoon RNG finally had a big update change to the game. They added Ascensions, base level 11, the treehouse, some quality of life stuff, and bug fixes. They also added these new items to the game. So this is the magnetized field, and this is Mothman. Now, I don't really know what any of these items do. I personally don't have them, but at the same time, Ore Polisher is a good addition because we don't really have much stuff that polishes ores. So first off, we're going to talk about the Tycoon Ascension. So after you prestige your Tycoon 10 times, right here, you can run all the way over here to the same guy that you get your relics from and how you equip them and whatnot. But instead, you'll run down here. And I've already ascended. I kind of screwed the audio up on the first time. But you're not able to ascend more than one time. And after you do that, it'll basically reset your Tycoon and everything except for your items. And then you'll have the ability to equip 2 new cards. I forgot to mention that when you ascend, you can actually go to the 11th floor. Don't know how I missed that. It adds a dropper here and an upgrader here if you guys were curious. For the next part of the update, we're going to come up here into this treehouse, and I'm going to show you guys how the new luck boost circle works. Every time you have like one person in here, you get 6% luck, and this goes up to 40. For the last part of this video, I wanted to show you guys some of the newer items that were added. So some of the glitch items, some of the previous updates items, and then I showed you guys some of the newer stuff at the start. I personally don't have it, unfortunately, but let's get it started with the Track of Evolutions. It's just a early game fuel item. If it were full rolled, it might be useful for me because I do use a field build. Next up, we do have the Blox Portal, and that was a little good demonstration of the new search function they have as well. The Blox Portal refuses wet ores and gives you a 2x if polished or if magnetic, and if you have both, it'll give you a 4x. Really only useful for early game or if you have a max roll of it. So next up we have Pizza Paradise. Pizza Paradise is another fire upgrader just for early game. It just specifies that it removes wet instead of just adding fire if it's wet, but most of the other fire-based upgraders do the same thing. Like your Extreme Heats and Gates of Calamity will remove wet and not add fire as well. The only difference is this adds air, but then you have Draconic Necromancy, which also adds air. It just negates that wet removal phase and still adds fire. The Slime Refinery is one of my favorite items that was added actually. It's pretty good for something that gives an extra 1.5x, but it also destroys wet ores and 15% of your ores. So that's a really big downside for something that only adds putrid and isn't a very high multiplier. Again, like I mentioned for the previous few items, this isn't really meant for endgame, but it's nice to know that they're adding things that weren't really looked at earlier, such as, fueled furnaces or putrid adding upgraders. So let's move on into our glitch weather items now. To start us off, we're going to talk about the cyber apocalypse. Now, if I'm completely wrong on this, you guys can tell me in the comments, but it doesn't seem all too good as it only gives you a plus or minus value up to 6 times, and it is only a 0.5x per tag. And I don't know about you, but that just doesn't seem all too good because it's adding, not multiplying. And I know if you multiplied it by 0.5, it just half it, but like you could just make it multiply by 1.5 each tag. But they do also have the Ore Hacker has a 40% chance to destroy vulnerable ores, 75% chance of turning your ore into a glitch, which we'll get into in a second, and 1.5x every vulnerable tag, which is probably the most noticeable thing about this. As if you were to get a standard Ore Hacker, it's not really good. If you got a golden Ore Hacker, it would actually increase the base multiplier by about 3.5x, so increasing it from anywhere between 120 to 150x. And 120 to 150 times 1.5 up to say 6 times is over 3,000 multiplier. So you're getting a 3kx off an Ore Hacker just because you got it golden. And then now you also have your simulation error. which would give you a 10x value if it's glitched. And my friend has a golden simulation error, and it is a 172.5x. And with a 10x value, that's a 1725x. So your 3000x with your almost 2000x is just gonna go crazy. Last but not least, for the glitch items that I actually own, we have the Glitchking's domain. Now this is about a 700 a second efficiency, and the passive is glitch. The other dropper that you can get from the glitch weather is actually worse than this, so if anything, this is the one you would want to go for. And the other one also spawns with glitch, but is only 100 a second efficiency, so this is about 70 times better. But that basically does it for this update video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed. It's not very consistent yet, but I'm getting there, so I hope you guys all enjoyed again. And if you like the video, please subscribe, comment, like it, do whatever you want, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.